guys, welcome to this new video. Today we are going to talk about the difference between the EmptyDir and the Hostpath. Just know that EmptyDir and Hostpath are actually volume that is needed for Kubernetes. So Kubernetes, not Kubernetes only, but the application, right? The container, these are volume that are being consumed by the container. So what is the difference between EmptyDir and Hostpath? So we will digest and dissect the difference between those two volumes. So EmptyDir provides temporary storage volume that exists for the duration of the pod lifetime. So this is just like EmptyDir is just a volume that is just there for the duration of the pod lifetime, meaning that if the pod die, that volume will die as well. And EmptyDir is ideally for sharing data between container within the same pod for sharing temporary files. So that is EmptyDir. So that is EmptyDir. So EmptyDir is just volume that only lasts for the duration of the pod lifetime, and that volume is actually located inside the pod. And that volume is very useful when you have like multiple containers running inside the same pod. You can create an EmptyDir volume so that they can share data together. In other hand, we have Hostpath. Hostpath is actually mounted directly from the host node file system into the pod, and Hostpath are useful when directly access to the node file system required, but poor security risk in limitation. So that's that. Now, let me make a little drawing here to explain technically the difference. So let's start with Hostpath. So this is our node. Let's assume that this is a Kubernetes node. In this Kubernetes node, we are going to claim a little portion of the volume, and we have our port here. We are going to attach that port to this volume. So this volume is just a directory. We can call this directory /data. This volume is just a directory that is located inside our node, and this is being used by this port. Now, when it comes to EmptyDir, for example, imagine EmptyDir as this is a port. You have one container. The EmptyDir is just a volume that is directly mounted on the port. That mount that the volume that exists on the port that you can actually mount a container on that. And the advantage with EmptyDir is that if you have, let's say, two containers in your port, you can mount that under the same EmptyDir, and they are going to share data together. So when you want to share data between two ports, you create an EmptyDir, and that EmptyDir will be used to share data among the ports. Sometimes you have application that maybe one port generate a token, and maybe one container generate a token, and another container need that token. You're going to use EmptyDir to actually store the token so that the other container will be able to see that token, for example. That's the difference between EmptyDir and Hostpath. Just to recap, EmptyDir is actually a volume that is located inside the pod, and that volume will die if the pod die. And EmptyDir, one thing that is important with EmptyDir is that if you have multiple containers inside the pod, they can share the same volume, the same EmptyDir volume, allowing them to share data together in real time. Hostpath is just a volume that is located inside a node. It's a directory inside the node that is created. You don't need to create a directory. When you specify Kubernetes, we create a directory for you. So it's a directory that is created inside the node, and that container will be using that directory as a volume. And that is also sometimes important. Let's say you want to access the file system of your node. Since you don't have access to the node, you can create a Kubernetes pod with EmptyDir so that you'll be able to access that file system. So I hope you like the video, guys. See you guys on the next video. If you are not subscribed, please go ahead and do so that you don't have to miss any video. Ciao. See you guys on the next one.